Good morning, everyone. It's Nate Every Day I'm Hustling, and I'm with Tommy today and a couple of pickers, Lisa
Hello.
and Rob.
How you
Hi
doing?
everybody. I already put it out in chat. Hashtag it's Rob's fault we're running late.
Thanks. Now.
I'll take some of the blame. My daughter, she went to Toy Story 4 on cookies and some drink before I could go live, so she
Hey,
put
I
it up.
got you. I got to see your dog too. That was cool.
Yeah, my big pup. Yeah,
Yeah, your
my
little
pit bull
baby.
my pit bull Cujo.
We got one of those little babies too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, what kind of dogs you guys have down there?
a mutt.
Yep. 60-pound mutt.
We got her from the pound. She was supposed to be a basset hound mix, so she was going to stay small. She didn't. She grew out and up.
Yep.
So she's a little mixture of everything. She's got some pit in her, and she's got probably some boxer. She's got a little bit of everything in her.
Yeah, I love my pits, man. They're great dogs, great protectors as well. That's all I've ever had. So I'm probably gonna stay that way unless my wife really twists my arm till it breaks almost. So
Thank you, Tracy. I wore this top just for you this morning.
Gosh.
so we're gonna do the brownie points, and I'm gonna say my hellos to everyone. We got Steven Scroggins. He got the brownie point today. Then we have Sandoller in here. Good morning. Alexis was in here early. Good morning. Bluegrass Picker. Good morning. We have Kelly, the Ecom on board. Good morning. We have DC Sales, the master of the license plate. Good morning. A couple of pickers in here saying it's Rob's fault. Good morning. Tommy Bernard, pull up your skirt, Rob. Let's go.
Gosh.
We have Shane Edmond in here. Good morning.
Like
We have
anything
Philly
less from
Picker.
Tommy.
Good morning. We have Reselling Addicts, Jenny. I hope everything's good with you. Good morning. We have Tracy in here. She was our guest yesterday. Good morning. And Michelle Lathan. How are you doing? Good morning. BK Vending and Flipping. What's up? Good morning. And I think that's it so far. If you're in the chat lurking, say hello or say something in chat, and we'll try to say hello to you. But I hope everyone's doing good. We're online. We're rolling. Lisa's got her good shirt on, getting some subs. This would be an outstanding show.
Hey, and look, my shirt too. See?
Yeah, Rob would like some recognition for his shirt too.
He
Yeah.
got he got a
Key
he got
West shirt on.
that's awesome.
So
That I thrifted.
yes, he did. He thrifted that. He's had a couple offers on that actually.
Yeah.
Really, it's hard.
I'm just
It's hard
wearing
to
it
find
online.
hard to find a good white shirt in the bins or thrifting. So I was
Yeah.
able to find no matter what. So
Well, there. Speaking of which, there goes our alarm. I don't know if you can hear it or not. When she barks, she goes crazy.
Is it
So
10:30? It's
yeah,
not
it's
10.
probably the
10:30
post
the mail
office.
comes, so
so
who's gonna bark out of that?
you guys want to just? I know a lot of people probably already know you, but you want to do a little a little intro for yourself.
Sure. Rob, why don't you do it this time since I'm a little under the weather?
All right. My name's Rob, and this is my wife Lisa. And we've probably been thrifting, probably total together how many years?
Each of us individually 20 plus years.
Yeah, on eBay. I mean,
On e-
thrifting and selling
and
on
selling
eBay.
on eBay. Yeah.
Wow,
And
awesome.
in about 2012, we were like displaced out of our jobs, and we went full time at it, and haven't looked back since.
That's awesome. You guys been doing it for a long time, so I'm sure you guys really, you go to the bins or whatever. You're not leaving too much stuff
Yeah,
unscathed.
we are bottom feeders when it comes. we we are the buy low, and when we say low, we talk about pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody, but it works really. We found a way it works really well for us. We go to the bins, we go to auctions and estate sales, and we try to do bundles. I very seldom do I buy one thing. I mean, I will, but
Hmm.
we all know that if you can get a big bundle together, you're going to get a better price. And Rob is a great haggler. He haggles way better than me because I feel bad. If I make somebody an offer and I insult them, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to insult you. Rob just turns around and walks
Yeah,
off.
I'm a walk awayer.
He doesn't care.
See,
So
I was the same way, but it got to the point where people's prices were so ridiculous up north. I
yeah,
don't know what it is, but they want like every dollar plus 10 of what it really is worth on eBay, and I'm just like, I can't buy that for that, guys.
yep.
So I understand what you're, like you said,
And
you feel
then
bad, but
we're really blessed to live in Florida where we do because we are surrounded by Goodwill outlets, which outlet, the bins, the pound store, those are all kind of interchangeable terms for Goodwill outlets, where they sell the stuff, where you're digging through it. You're basically going through it and picking through and finding all the rejects that didn't sell at the Goodwill store, which used to be a joke in my family. How bad do you have to be to go shop at a Goodwill outlet? But it's not a joke anymore. I mean, that's the way we make our livelihood, and we've lived doing this now since 2012. We bought our home with this income. We've bought cars, and everything. So we are a testament that you can be successful doing that. It definitely was a change in lifestyle, though. Before this, Rob was he was a professional. He was a copier repairman,
Yeah.
and I worked in the medical field, and so we both had very professional jobs, and it was a shock going from that to this. At least it was for my kids, because they were older at the time. But I wouldn't go back to the old ball and chain kind of job for anything in the world. No.
No, he wouldn't.
I know I hate every day going into work, like
I
every
know.
day. I go into the parking lot, I look at that building, I'm like, I feel like I'm going into prison. Like I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be here for the next 8 hours plus. Especially today,
Well,
Wednesdays are the worst. So I'll
you
be here
work
till
so
midnight.
hard. When you have a good work ethic and you're working so hard, and you're when you're at your job like that, you're working that hard, you're putting money in somebody else's pocket. It's
Right.
not going in your pocket. At least this way, when I work hard, and I gripe and complain about it, I know I'm doing it for me, not for
Right.
anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like if my job, if they had like say like a ladder program where like you can, move up into the company and
Hmm.
not kind of stay and move maybe around the warehouse positions, then maybe I would not have that same thought, you know what I mean, that I do. But I almost have like that thought of like I'm never going to move because I'm so low on the on the chain that that it would take a lot of people to quit or the business to really expand for me to really get like say a desk job or something because
Yeah.
I've done like my dad he has his own business. I worked for him for 15 years and you know I've done basically everything that company does. It just kind of on steroids because they are such a bigger company. So
Yeah.
if they would have me go into like a buyer's position or like a, or any of the other positions where like I'm doing some of the computer stuff and everything else, I already know how to do that stuff. I would just need to be shown their way of how to do it, and I
Hmm.
could basically sit at any desk in that building. But it's like they see me with this beard and they're like, "Hey, this guy can't. He got to be in the warehouse. He looks too savage to work. And put a pair of sweatpants or not sweatpants, but a pair of dress pants on or whatever." So, but
Don't
it
make
is
me bring
what
my
it is.
beard out, Nate.
I was waiting for it. I knew it was around. That's awesome.
No, that was a one show only.
And
That
that day that Nate, the day she did that, she put a hat on, and the hat that she wore sold like yesterday.
see
I
see
said I'd even autograph the inside if they wanted me to. I don't know.
they seen they seen it with reference to me. They're like, "Oh, that's a great look. I got to get
Hey,
that."
I had my beard down to I was like this. It's
That's
you know what, that was pretty cool though. To have something on your face to
yeah.
play with.
Just like you gotta think like you're thinking about something
I
too. Like
know it.
But
It
I
was
drew the
pretty
line when
awesome.
everybody told me to kiss her when she had her beard on.
Yeah, he wouldn't do it.
yeah,
He wouldn't.
that'd be kind of weird for sure.
He might find out he likes it, and then that would just go in a whole nother direction. So,
Yeah, well, I know who put a number one in the chat when that day.
who was it?
All of them.
Oh, yeah, everybody did. So,
Yeah, but that's like the one thing, man. If I could, and this could happen maybe with us supposedly supposed to expand, moving forward
Mhm.
because our company got bought out by PFG. So it could happen. It might happen. Let's just, but I'd rather do the reselling way more. Like I have a whole, I have so many different things that I'm going to do basically the first of the year to really, expand my business and stuff
Mhm.
like that. What are some things that you guys want to do moving forward? Like that maybe you have goals or things that you want to do business
Clean my
wise?
garage. Get rid of some of my 7 years of death pile.
Yeah.
No, that's what we talked about, and we've said this every year that we're going to stop sourcing as much and focus
We
on
have
what
cut
we
down
have.
though.
Yeah, we have cut down, but it's so hard because just like when we were down in Orlando, we stopped by and picked up a few things at an outlet, and I've already got, I paid $22 for them. I'm already up $100, and I sold two things, and I still
Right.
got probably 20 some pieces of clothes and probably another 20. So I still have 40 things to sell and I'm already up, $80. It's just so hard to pass up the opportunity. I guess it's the FOMO issue,
Yeah,
fear
I was
of
going to say
missing
the
out,
FOMO. Yeah.
but we're really going to try and concentrate on sourcing from the house. And I told Rob some of the stuff that we've had for so long, it's almost going to be like resourcing it again. You're going to see it for the first time, even because we haven't seen it in 5 years.
Right.
So we're really going to try and focus on that to and get back into clothes. We're really going to try to make an effort to do
Yeah, it's
something
been
with
like how many?
clothes.
It's been at least a couple years since
Yeah,
we've done clothing.
yeah. So we were really big into that when we first started and grew our store so much. It grew on clothes. That's what we did. That's what we sold. That's what we did very well in. And then we kind of fell out of it. So we're going to try and concentrate on that, get a more dedicated area to do our photos for that, and see where it goes.
Yeah, I love selling clothing. I got a lot, more, I got pickier with my selections and everything, especially from since I started day one. I was watching the YouTube channels and stuff when I first started, and I was just
Mm-hmm.
watching, and I'd see these polos for $1, and I grabbed a whole bunch of them, and some of them just sold recently. Surprisingly, I'm just happy to get them out of my house for whatever I sold them for, and that's one thing that I've learned, that you have to really be picky on the brands and the styles and the vintage stuff that you buy, because some of it's not worth anything. You know what I mean? Where or it's so saturated that if you would get a sale, it would be like $7 or $5 plus shipping. Which if you spend anything more than $1 on it, it's not it's still not worth my time. But
Mm-hmm.
at the
Mm-hmm.
time, I'm thinking, oh, this will sell $15 plus plus shipping. No, it got so saturated because of everyone shopping at thrift stores, and it is some of the more common stuff that you find at department stores and things like that. So
Look, there's Destiny.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Bring
Whoa.
bring another lady in here. Class you guys up a little bit.
at first I thought your shirt said Thug Dealer. I'm like, wait a second.
No,
Hug
it
dealer.
says hashtag hug dealer.
I didn't see the hashtag, or I thought the hashtag was a T. I'm like, wait a second, Thug Dealer.
Let me advertise that in the front, huh?
I don't know.
I am a thug dealer.
There you go. Either one would have worked.
Thug Dealer of Shamrock Pixiness.
Exactly. I sprinkle that pixie dust to make everybody thuggish.
Man, I need some pixie dust down here. Rob got me sick and I cannot get rid of it. Man.
Rob
There you
passed it
go.
up to you.
Hey, you're getting glitter on my keyboard.
It's not on your face.
Rob, you looked so sick that day you went to see Riley Rich. I felt so bad, but I was like, yeah, it's a cool opportunity to go see him and everything.
Y'all do not know the conversation we had for me to motivate him to get up and go. He really did not want to go.
We could.
And
we were going to go on Saturday, and I was basically bedridden on Saturday.
oh, he was throwing up everything. It was awful. He could not have gone on Saturday at all.
Oh, wow. Well, good morning, everybody who said good morning to me in chat. Much love.
Tommy Bernard wants to know if you can make a shirt for Lisa that says hashtag jug dealer.
if she would like one.
Thanks, Tommy.
Oh.
Wait, that's a great one. Been dealing with that since I was a young girl. Yeah, he is on a roll. Chris is in here, old school picker. So we missed him last night on our show. He was busy. So yeah, we had a flyby last night too. Oh my God, we had taco stacks come into our
I
chat.
saw that. That was pretty awesome. Congratulations.
And, when he came in, Rob said, well, you could tell it was really him because he was verified. I said, I didn't know it was really him. I thought it was a joke. So I was like, oh, yeah, okay, taco stacks is in here, And then Maria's like, no, that's real.
Yeah.
Yep. I double checked too.
Yeah. And then we found out how much everybody really loved us because then it was like, bam, hey, taco stacks. Everybody, the whole chat went, over there. So it was great, though. It was nice. It was unexpected. I don't know why, but it was great.
I'm gonna guess it was probably because your video with Rally Roots, you probably were like in the Rally Roots searches. Like that's how like sometimes I'll get different people. Like
you want me to tell you my theory?
What's that?
It's because my dog loves salsa. And I comment on all his videos how much my dog loves salsa and how they're going to be BFFs one day. I think I made a dog connection.
That could have been.
Y'all never underestimate a dog connection. You know that, Nate, when you got that dog love. So, but yeah, Rob and I have watched him. Like I told him, I watched him when he had the old raggedy van. Before he got the upgrade. And before he had salsa, we watched him for a long time before he got real big and everything. And because Rob's an avid YouTube, he has watched so many people over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know them. I know their voices. I don't know faces and everything because I always just listen to them. But Taco was one that we actually would watch together because I thought he was amusing. I like to watch what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how you can't get much more basic than that. I mean, he gets a lot of his stuff is free for God's sakes, off the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was great that he stopped by. So, and then after he left, I was like, oh my God, I really didn't talk to him that much. I just kept right on going with what we were talking about. So, but that might have been okay too. I'm sure they sometimes would like to anonymously slip in, which I'm sure they do. I'm sure they have other sign-ins that they use. So they can go in and out without being seen.
Yeah, that or just lurk and just kind of hang out and support, but not really say anything because they don't want to take away from what you're doing and everything like that.
Exactly. Rob is an avid lurker. He's lurked for years.
Yeah.
He lurks a lot. But
Well,
y'all know if you see comments from us, it's me. Everybody pretty much knows that. If you see comments, it's from me.
Really?
Yeah. With the exception of a what's up. Rob will usually do a what's up.
Oh, yeah.
That's about the extent of it.
Yeah, I always want. It's always hard whenever I'm talking to people that have joint accounts, like for example, like the reselling addicts, like Jenny and Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I must bet 9 out of 10 times it's Jenny, but the one time that'll be Jeff, I'll feel bad, But I mean, that's usually what who's usually on the account or whatever watching most of the time, I believe. So
yeah, well, Jenny set me straight on that right away. When she's been one of the first ones that's been with us since we came on, and she's always said it's always me, and so I thought that's the best way to just let everybody. It's always me. Just always assume it's me because 99% of the time it's going to be me.
yeah, she said it's never Jeff. So okay, well yeah. I know for sure now. We're golden. Mm-hmm. Hey, Kelly, the Ecom Mom Ward had a good idea. Instead of hug dealer, put mug dealer for Tom.
Yeah. Rob, remember what you did for me one time?
Oh yeah.
And then do the picture with you with the 2 chains and everything. That would be a cool shirt. I might buy that shirt. That'd be awesome. I want to get one with the Tommy, pose with the chains, but the mug dealer one might be it. That one might be it. That'd be a good shirt.
What would you do? Rob had one for me one time on one of our videos.
We did a video where she got a ton of coffee mugs or
Coffee
something.
mugs.
I think
Yeah,
it
I'm
was. And, like,
notorious for coffee
so like
mugs.
I put it into the thumbnail. She was like holding up the coffee cup, and that said "mug wife."
Mhm. Yeah, a mug wife. But
If
that's okay.
anybody has any questions for the couple of pickers, Lisa and Rob, please put question marks in before, and I'll try to put you on the screen, and we'll get your questions. So I want the chat to be highly involved if possible.
Oh yeah, yes. That's
Always
my
love the chat.
problem sometimes. When we do our lives, I get involved in the chat and I'll start to answer a question, and then it's like, oh, a squirrel, another question, and I forget the one question I was talking about, and so you'll have to forgive me for that, but I do that sometimes. I'm very preoccupied with chat. But we're not reading any of Tommy Bernard's comments this morning.
But we're all seeing them.
We're ignoring them. So, yeah, they had fun with me last night. That's okay.
Jen asks, how do you determine what crafty things to pick up? There's so much.
Yeah, there is. For me, there's so many different crafts. Probably your number one craft that sells the most is going to be knitting and crocheting. So I look for vintage knitting or crocheting patterns. Afghans always sell those. There's always going to be ladies making Afghans. So I look for vintage patterns, and then I'll go to cross stitch. Cross stitch is more prevalent than needlepoint and embroidery, even though they're basically kind of sort of the same thing, just different stitches. And again, I look for characters. A lot of people love to do characters. Or famous artists. So a lot of artists will take their artwork and they will put it into cross stitch, and that's usually very popular. So that's what I look for when I look at craft books. And again, it comes from literally buying thousands of them over the years and knowing what sells and what doesn't. I mean, there are some I literally have 6 copies of, and I need to tell myself to stop buying them because they don't freaking sell, but I still buy them every time I see them thinking they're going to sell. But it comes with looking them up, seeing what sells. But like I said, I really always will pick up crochet books or knitting books and even knitting machine books. Knitting machines in Florida you don't find a lot of that. But up around like where Tommy's at, up in Wisconsin and over in Michigan and up in the Northwest, it's very popular, and I sell a lot of machine knitting books up there.
See, I'm surprised. I would never have thought that was really, that would sell a lot, because I've seen like auctions of people selling like big lots of it, and they were going for pretty cheap. And I'm like, you know what? I wonder if that stuff would really sell. And then I was like, I don't know. So that's more of the, the knowledge that I don't have yet, that you guys been doing it for years, that you guys have. You guys pretty much know what is and what is not for the most part, I'd say, after being, doing it probably for so long.
The thing about it is you've got, magazines and pattern books, a lot of them are long tail. They really, they don't. Rob got me, what'd you buy me, like 700? You bought me like 700 books.
Wow.
Probably
$25.
It took me a couple weeks to get them all put on, but I made my money off 2 books, 2 books, and it paid for the whole lot of 700. So they're long, a lot of them are long tail, but it's a bread and butter. It sells every day, and I sell lots. I have it stacked up where if they buy, I give them a discount with shipping, of course, for selling multiple things. And it's nothing to get a 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 20 book order from one person.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's where I get it from. And again, we have an anchor store, so we have 10,000 available listings.
And if you have 10 of those books, like she's saying, that's not even first class, and it's just first class. It's not even priority.
Yeah, sometimes if they're leaflets, they're just like 2 pages, and so you can put 10 of them together, and it's still first class. You know? So that's where we've got learned that over the years of how best to put that. I've tried everything. I've tried all the different things that eBay comes out with. I've had free shipping. I've had buy one get one 50% off and all that. But it works best for me to just leave them like they are. We run a sale, and then I give them a discount for shipping, a shipping discount if they buy multiples, and it seems to work really well. And craft ladies are very dedicated. If you could hook your craft ladies, they come back.
Yeah, I'll have to learn and maybe have ask you guys some questions on some stuff moving forward. I want to get my eBay bigger. I mean, and this goes in part of the question here with BK vending and flipping. Ask, how do you scale your business part time? Like, this is something that I want to start doing. Of course, because I want to get out of the part time and go full time. And for me, it's going to be really pushing Amazon, but it's also going to be with my eBay as well, because I want to source smarter and better. You know what I mean? I want to possibly start doing liquidations and definitely get wholesale deals, which I've started to contact some of those now, which I'm going to start putting in orders shortly. Probably after the first year, probably will be my first order, just because I want to get some of the after Christmas stuff. But I'm really going to push the envelope, because with Amazon, I'm not even ungated anything. Like, I'm basically like a brand new seller on there, and I'm doing pretty well, sourcing 3 days a week. So bringing in some wholesale, I'm able to order online or through the phone and get the stuff brought to my door. And even if it's not a higher ROI like I'm used to, it's still going to bring me some extra profit, which at the end will get me closer to my goal of full time. So it's all about adding to my bankroll.
I was trying to get back into Amazon this year, but I mean, I got the app going again and started scanning and got a few items, but I was just so surprised that that all the stuff that you're gated in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I mean, you might get about 30% maybe that you would be accepted by. With like a 70-cent rejection. That's what I've seen whenever I was out there.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, like, for me, it took me a while to really understand what areas, I could have success in, what brands in those areas, because, when I first started, it was January last year, everything's clearanced out, toys and everything. And I'm scanning, of course, the toys and everything, because that's the heaviest aisle right now, because it was after Christmas. And I'm getting denied. And maybe 2 out of the 90 items that were on the shelf I could actually buy, and they were limited quantities. So it was like, man, like, I just used up all this time scanning, and I only found this stuff. So, the home category is where you really want to look. The kitchen stuff, some different products that used to cleaning stuff, or items that you would use with the cleaning stuff.
I had much success whenever I started Amazon, when I would do the bundles, like, if somebody would have 2 or 3 3 items, 4 items, and you get more, you would have more profit because it was less fee.
Dad's been as Rob asked, Rob, what do you collect?
What do
Nothing.
I collect?
He sells everything.
Yeah, I don't collect anything. I sell everything.
He would sell the dog if I'd let him.
In the past, though, I've collected baseball cards, beer cans.
That's true. Before I met him.
Yeah,
he did. He had quite a few
when I was younger.
So
used to go out and hunt beer cans in woods all the time, and probably in Wisconsin.
I'm sure he did.
We got a lot of them.
Yeah, he got his mom. He was the baby, so he got his mom and dad involved in it, and that's what they would do. They would go off and they would go hunt beer cans with him. I thought, what awesome parents.
Yeah, especially now, with the hunting seasons and stuff. They're all over out there.
T Flips ask if you guys are full-time or part-time.
Full-time. We've been full-time since 2012. And before that, we both had full-time jobs and did this part-time. But I did see a question a while back where somebody asked, how do you list old craft magazines? First of all, if it's a craft, there's a magazine category, and you can list it as a back issue of a magazine. Or in the crafts category, there is a way you can list it under the type of craft it is. And it was it'll tell you that you can. It's a magazine, so there's two different ways you can list craft magazines: either under magazines category, under books, or either in crafts. But what I also do is sometimes when you get a big lot of magazines from craft ladies, they'll have little things like this stuck in there, little single patterns that they pick up. This piece of paper weighs nothing,
Right.
and I'll get $4 or $5 just for a pattern. So plus they pay shipping on it, and I have binders that I keep these single patterns in sleeves so that way I don't lose them. But we have sold hundreds of single patterns like this. Like I said, because a lot of people, for example, my grandma taught me how to crochet. So she did. Okay, she tried to, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
People that crochet know that you have to be consistent with your stitches. And you guys that aren't interested in crafts will have to bear with me for just a second. You have to be consistent with your stitches because you don't want them loose. You don't want them too tight. They have to be just right. So she taught me how to do basic crochet chain. I came in after working on it for an hour. She says, "Oh, this is bad." She unraveled the whole thing and told me to start over again. And I said, "Forget it. I'm going outside to play." So that was my experience. But a lot of people that crochet, they look for the older patterns that they were taught on. And that's where I think you get a lot of it's a mix of wanting to do the craft, but it's also the sentimental aspect of being able to make something that their grandmother or their mother or whoever taught them how to do made. So I think that's a big part of it.
Lisa, why don't you tell them about the lot that we found on our sourcing vacation we took in August?
Oh, well, I've beat that to death, but I will.
Well, some people might have heard
That's true.
it.
That's true. That I beat it on our channel. I'll rehash it on yours, Nate. Just Nan. That's the name of a company that does cross stitch kits, and it's JUSTNAN. Just Nan. Rob and I went to the 127 yard sale, the longest yard sale. And the first day we were there, they had we went inside a building and it was a table full of craft kits.
Gadsden, Alabama,
yeah. And I recognized right away they wanted $1 a piece for the craft kits. There were 7 boxes, and I recognized right away that these were going to be high dollar. Not as much as it ended up being, but I knew I was going to make money with those. So I offered them $60 for the whole table. And I offered him $40. Excuse me, $40 for the whole table. He said no. He said, "How about 60?" I said, "How about 50?" So I did $50 for the whole table. And how much do you think we've made on those 7 boxes, Rob?
And
we don't have them all. I haven't listed all of them, but I've listed.
I mean, it's over 1,500. I would say right now.
Profit. That's profit. That takes out all the postage.
Because we sold one kit for more than $50. So.
Yeah, and literally when I put that brand on, and again, it's Just Nan, JUSTNAN. If you ever see any craft kits or things by that, I would encourage you to buy those. I would put on 10, go to bed, get up in the morning, and I'd have 10 offers. Well, I have more than that because I'd have multiple offers on each one that I put on. They sell that quick. And I still have ladies emailing me today wanting to know if I'm going to put more on.
That's crazy because over at our thrift store here, like we're a small town thrift store in there, I've always just walked right through that section. I got to get to it to go through the sections I want to go to. And, I always see stacks of like books and pamphlets and sewing patterns and all kinds of stuff. And I never think twice about it. But guess what? I be thinking now.
Yeah. I mean, it was a big deal. I mean, Rob, again, this was our first purchase, and we had the van, and we had to be careful of space. And he's like, you just bought 7 boxes. I said, I know, but I just have a good feeling, And he's like, okay. And then once the money started coming in, he was like, oh my God, can you list any more? I mean, he was, you want to talk about somebody being supportive. I mean, he was scanning, he was doing everything he could to get those things done.
I mean, we probably only listed about half of them already. We still have half left.
Yeah, normally I don't buy craft kit the kits that are already started, because people don't like that, because again, some people do tight stitches, some people do loose stitches, and so everybody likes to do their own stitches. But I've sold craft kits by Just Nan that have already started, for $50-$60. So if I see anything with that name on it, I'm going to buy it.
And I will too.
I'm never going to pass it. But I've never seen that brand in the wild in any of my thrift stores or anywhere else. So I don't know. And I know there's a store here in Florida that sells it. I don't know whether it's just that rare to find them in the wild like that. But thank God for this lady that's what she did. And that was the majority of her kits were from that brand. So, but it was amazing.
And there was also a craft purchase we made a long time ago. It's probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Remember that knitting machine we bought?
Yeah, we bought a knitting machine.
Yeah, we bought a knitting machine. It was I think it was something made in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But they're very long. I mean, it's 3 foot long.
Yeah.
Made of metal. And we put it off, never put it on. It was it sat in the garage for a while, and it's still sitting in the garage. But we sold the accessories. I think we purchased for what, about $75?
Well, I thought it was 50.
50 or 75. And we sold the accessories for $500.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, knitting machines are really big money. So I like Dad's vintage garage question. He's got it there. Rob, I'll let you answer that.
What's that? I missed it.
It's up there. It's on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Got it on the screen.
Okay, I was looking on my thing. See, there's working. Do you guys ever do a date night?
No.
No?
Why do you think I was so excited to go meet Anthony and Ashley down in Orlando? That was the first meal out I've had with Rob in years.
We got to write it off.
And you see what he did as soon as we got done, he took me to a thrift store. That's what we did. We went to a thrift store. So there you go.
Sourcing trip.
For us, a date night is very far between, not for choice, but because it's hard to get a babysitter to watch my 3 Rugrats. So we went out to eat, and I thought we were gonna go, just do whatever. And she was like, "Okay, so we're going to Target, or we're going to Walmart?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "We're going sourcing, shopping. What are we doing?" She goes, "I know you want to go sourcing." I'm like, "No." I said, "This is a very rare situation." I said, "This is up to you." And she's like, "I only feel right if we went sourcing," because she's starting to get into the whole, sourcing Amazon thing, really, as much as I like it. So, she just wants to help in my crusade into, the business and, going full time and everything. So I love it. So
I do think it does help if you have the support of your spouse. I really do. Because God knows, and I'm sure you've run into this before, family and other people think you're absolutely nuts to do what we do.
Oh, yeah. My mom thinks it's I sell one thing a day, and, how can you support your family if you try to do this full time? And I show her the stuff, the numbers and everything. And, I don't know, she's business minded too, because she's been, doing everything with my dad's business since I was 5, which I'm almost 35, so it's 30 years. And, you would think she would be more understanding of it, but it's almost I think I've talked about this in other chats, but if it's not a brick and mortar, it's not real. It's fictitious.
Right.
It's pretend land, when you're a kid and you have the cash register and the Monopoly money and you're trying to buy food off somebody at your house, pretending thing. It's that's what it is. So,
well, my dad says all I ever hear you guys do is talk about buying stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I don't call and tell you I sold, But he's like, all you ever do is go to thrift stores. When do you ever sell stuff? And I'm like, honestly, I sell stuff. I promise you. I pay my bills,
We got Anthony in the house saying, "What's up?" He jumped in.
I saw that. Hey, Anthony.
What's up,
Anthony? It chilly enough for you this morning? It was 44 in Orlando this morning at 9:30. So a little bit chillier this morning than yesterday.
That's a little bit of a Pittsburgh.
I want to know if your shoes are dry right now. If you're still wet.
Rob, you want to answer Chris's question?
What's the highest thing you ever sewed?
And for y'all that don't know, that's my fault. I talked at Rally Roots about, we were talking about accents, and I mentioned Chris's accent that I love. And I said that when he says the word sold, SOLD, I hear sewed, SEWED. That's how he says it. And so now he just won't let me forget that I said that. So. But Rob, what would you say for you?
It was a game cartridge. It was a game cartridge for a console that was made in like 1977. The Fairchild F, I think it's called.
Very obscure.
Yeah, and it was the demo cartridge that came with in the store, where it was like the demo cartridge that you would play the game in the store. And there was like two of them made, like demo cart 1 and 2, and that was like the rarest cartridges of that game. And if I remember correctly, I think it was it $1,200? I think it was $1,200.
We put it up for 15. I know that.
We put it up for an exaggerative amount.
Yeah.
What system was it for?
We sold for like $1,200.
Nate wants to know what system was it for, Rob?
It was a Fairchild. It was called a Fairchild F, I think it's
probably before you were born, Nate.
1977.
Yeah, before you were born, dear.
That was 8 years before the beard was born.
And something below that would have been maybe a hearing aid for like $800.
Yeah, and
that we got at the bins.
My personal one that I found was my pre-prohibition beer glass that I found. It's a little 4-ounce glass that they were just getting ready to throw away at the outlet. You know, at our outlet, when they clear off the glass, they literally throw it into bins and break it. And I got it as just as I was walking up to the register, it was sitting there. I picked it up. Oh, okay, because I like barware to sell. And we got it home and did some research, and it was from the early 30s, and it sold for like $500.
Wow.
And I probably paid less than a quarter for it.
A brewery in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it was a brewery in Wisconsin.
Bangor, Wisconsin.
So.
Tommy, you're muted, buddy.
You're going to shove in my face, man.
It's all good. I've seen the clear cup, so you might be Starbucking it with me over here.
No, man, McDonald's big breakfast.
Okay. I thought you might have had some type of caffeinated drink over there.
No, I got that in the other cup. But I seen your lady bring you delivery service, and I was like, oh man, I want McDonald's big breakfast. So Destiny ran and got some.
Awesome.
I'm back.
That was very nice of you, Destiny.
You did a little personal DoorDash and for the hubby.
Right?
That's okay. I got the tip.
I don't think I could have got Rob to go to McDonald's for me this morning.
No, we're not eating McDonald's, man.
Yeah, we're not eating McDonald's.
Oh, this is yours too.
We don't usually, but
My wife really, that's her like morning routine. She'll run and go to the store because she always needs something for the kids or food or whatever, and then she stops at Starbucks and she brings me one because I always yell at her for going to Starbucks. I think it's too expensive and everything. So she brings me one thinking it's going to make it everything better, but it somewhat does sometimes.
You know, we have Dunkin' Donuts cups that I sourced from the bins. And now that's all Rob's, look, show yours.
Yeah, mine's a little beat up.
It has no writing on it. It's worn off completely. But because we can get discounted refills, that's what we use. We go by Dunkin' Donuts, because it's all about the cheapskate for Rob.
I love Dunkin' Donuts.
we got quick trip.
It's hard to go there and get just a cup of coffee, you know.
Oh yeah.
Because I love their bagels too. So it's any type of bread is hard for me to pass by.
Yeah, if they're having their if they have any Bavarian cream, that's my favorite. But
Mine too.
Oh my goodness.
Mine too, but not anything that's powdered sugar. See, the powdered sugar would get in your beard. The powdered sugar gets all over me. That's what I hate.
I was at work and on Sunday, and someone left out some donuts, and of course I'm like, oh yeah. So I opened the box. I see one with powdered sugar. I just stuffed my face and I looked at myself in the mirror because every time I eat, I go to the bathroom because the beard, just gotta make sure we're good. I go in there, it's like I look like Santa with a white beard. Like it literally like clumps of powdered sugar just went everywhere. I didn't care. No one was really there, so I just really went to town on it. Cleaned myself off a little bit.
That's the truth. Powdered sugar, it tells on you every time, so I skip it. I just say no to powdered sugar.
Yeah, the best ones I like are the ones that have like the chocolate top on them, and then have the custard in the middle, the regular one. So.
That's my favorite too. But I always, you know what? The best way to eat them is to turn them upside down and eat them. Because the bottom usually falls out when I eat. Have you ever had that problem? The bottom. So I flip them up and I eat them upside down with the frosting side down, and that way then the bottom doesn't fall out.
That's because whoever put the like the bag part where they fill it, they put it to the bottom.
Yeah.
And this way it gets too heavy and it actually just drops everywhere.
Yep. I don't know, Rob. What kind of donut do you eat? I don't know.
I know. Well, if I do eat it, it's just a glaze. That's about all I would like.
That's boring.
Yeah, I know. That's about it.
I'm a Long John person.
Yeah, I like those too, but they're filled too. Don't they have a filling in the center too, Tom?
Yeah, we have ones without it, and then we have ones that are custard filled.
I like the donuts that are round and they got the chocolate on top, and then they've got the the cream.
That squirt of white cream in the middle.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Like the not the custard, but the basically like an icing in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
okay. But
if you're not careful, sometimes that's what they give you when you order Bavarian. I've had them give me those before, and I'm like, oh God, it's okay, but that's not what I wanted.
I bit into one day, and I literally almost slammed on my brakes and pulled the UE. I was so upset. I was expecting the custard goodness, and I got some random stuff, so I was very upset.
See, this is an important conversation because donuts are serious business,
right? Especially in the morning with your coffee. You gotta have
my God! What kind of coffee? What are you drinking in that cup?
This is a vanilla frappe something with a bunch of shots of espresso. So this is part of the beard hack for why I can do so much in a day right here.
There you go. How many pots of coffee do we go through a day?
At least 2.
Yeah, we go through at least 2 big pots of coffee a day.
But these cups can hold a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
We have a 36 ounce percolator, or a 36 cup percolator. And we go through probably 3/4 of it at least.
Yeah, some days it's 2 of those things.
See, I don't drink coffee unless it's like my wife brings me one every once in a while. I used to really be on a coffee thing, but unless I'm really dragging, which I mean honestly, I would run on no sleep, but somehow I don't kind of drag, so I don't really drink that much coffee anymore. Because I usually when I do drink coffee, I drink it either in the morning or the night, I wouldn't have wanted to go to sleep right after unless it's one of these where just so much caffeine in one drink that I'm zooming for the next 6 hours.
Yeah, I know. We were trying to figure out, because you're on here in the mornings, and then now I understand you work an afternoon shift like that, but then when you come home, when do you ever sleep?
I usually go to bed at about 3 in the morning, and then I sleep till about 9:30.
Wow.
So I get about 6 hours or so, maybe even a little less, depending on Tommy and Tracy go a little longer.
Wow.
A lot of times, I'll be honest, I'll fall asleep right here, right in my chair. I'll be sourcing something. I'm like, oh, that's a great deal. And I just wake up, my butt hurts from my chair, and it's not very comfortable. My legs hurt because it's you're in a weird position depending on how I'm sitting or my legs are. So my daughter sleeps in our bed. So either my daughter steals my spot in the bed, or I sleep on the chair over there.
Our downfall is the living room. If we go sit in the living room, we both have recliner chairs. That's it. We're out.
I've had many living room nights.
So, we try not to go sit in there for that very purpose. Excuse me.
We have
Like,
both recliners, and like in the middle, there's a big like footstool hassock, and that's where the dogs.
Yeah, she has her space right between the two of us. So one of us gets the rump end, one gets the head. So, it just depends on how she feels. But we let her sleep in the bed with us, so she will wake us up to go to bed because she's much more comfortable sleeping on the bed than she is in the living room. So we do have, it's not a child, but we do have a dog that will wake us up and tell us it's time to go to bed.
We have a cat like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really?
Yep.
And a bird. Mr. Pickles.
I saw your bird. I saw what you were on one day when you were talking about trying to teach him how to talk.
Oh, well, now he just gets obnoxious when he wants to go to bed. So that's our cue to go to bed.
Yeah, he'll want everything off. He'll want the TV off and the lights off, and he gets irritated.
Gets real loud.
He's a jerk.
He is not.
Oh.
Okay, you see, Mac wants to ask a question, Rob. I'll let you answer this one. He wants to know, when was the last time we didn't have a sale in a day? Now we're going to go back to when we went full-time, 2012.
Yeah.
You want to answer that?
Never. Besides stopping sales by us, which wouldn't count, I would say.
What do you mean stopping sales?
Whenever we would stop sales completely when we were like maybe out of town or something.
We still sold every day.
No, I'm just saying we've stopped sales.
Oh, you mean like we closed the store down completely?
Yeah, closed the store down.
Okay. So,
never.
Yeah.
We have never had a 0 day.
Every day we've been open, we've never had a 0 day. Never.
I mean, not to say that was like maybe one item.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
still.
when we go on vacation and we have to extend out to a 10-day handling time or shipping time, our sales may dwindle down to 1 or 2 a day, but we've never had a day in 7 years that we haven't had no sales.
How many listings do you guys have up?
A little over 7,100 right now. We went into Q4 with 73, but our sales have been so much that we haven't been able to keep up. We're selling 15 to 20 a day.
The sales this week are just rocking for us.
Yeah, they're doing really good this week.
So on an average day, not just Q4, but like an average day, what is a good, like your average day, and what's a great day, like scale wise for you guys, like
this week
sales?
It's been about 230 has been about the lowest, $230 worth of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday, we almost hit 400. Yeah, was it over 400?
Yeah, I don't know. It was right at 4 over 400.
Yeah.
So I mean, 2 to 4. 2 is kind of is okay. But 400 is a good day, or anything above that. But again, Rob and I pay so little. I mean, it's not unusual to have $200 in sales, and our all-in cost for what we sold is $5.
That's awesome. You guys basically do what I do on eBay, like sales wise, that I do on Amazon. So that's good. You guys are doing probably around like say 8,000 probably a month roughly or more.
And we also sell on other platforms. What is it? Bonanza, True Gather, which are actually
they're just like
mirrored. They're mirrored.
It's no effort. We don't have to put any.
Yeah,
effort
they mirror the eBay listings there, and we probably get at least
a couple hundred, or
at least 5 or 6 sales a month from those two platforms.
And the nice thing, both of those platforms take them off of eBay when you sell them.
Yeah,
so we don't have to worry about double selling.
Bonanza probably works out pretty good.
It didn't do nothing for me.
We did really well on Bonanza when I was actively in there engaging every day, and
we did pay a little bit to be seen on Bonanza for a while, but then we stopped.
Yeah, then I just got tired of it, of paying, and then so my sales have dropped. But the True Gather one, which I think that's the one, Tracy, if you're still listening, that she was trying to think of the name last night of the other one. True Gather is similar to Bonanza. It'll import all your listings for you, and it will also take it off when it sells. And we sell a lot on there, and it's absolutely zero. I have to do nothing. I just check it. I'll see something will drop off eBay, and then if something drops off, then I go over there and check it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That with that many listings that you have, that bonanza probably would give you guys a pretty decent boost, even if it's just a couple sales. Just adding it, like you said, it doesn't add any more work for you.
No.
Like
And
you
then
would
we
have
also,
to do if you have to did like Macari or something where you're using a app
and
to cross post or manually doing yourself.
I did have a big presence on Etsy for a while, so I've done Etsy. We've sold on Macari. We've been real heavy on Macari. We still have a few things on there right now, but we're not real heavy into Macari. I did look into Grailed, maybe starting to list of some of our clothes over there on Grailed. Some of Rob's hats, maybe, because Rob does buy a lot of the trucker style hats from around here. And we have probably 1,000 of those all around the house. So be someplace nice to be able
I
to
was
get
looking
those
at
out.
the keyword hat. I didn't put hat. I put cap because I usually put hat and cap in the title whenever I do it. And with the keyword cap, we have like 400 listings in our store right now.
So, we would like to get to every year. We always say our goal, we're going to get 10,000 this year. We're going to hit 10,000. But it's a good thing that we sell so much that we can't keep it put back on there. But it's also a bad thing because I feel like we're not growing because we're just maintaining. And then in Q4 we couldn't even maintain. We slid back 200. So it's just going to take some time for us to sit down and really do nothing but list.
Yeah, because the only way that you're able to really gain listings is to list more than what you sold, and you guys sell a whole lot. So it's not like, like for me, like I have to list, say, 3 items a day because I only sell like 1 or 2 things, or like today I have nothing going out, where yesterday I had 1, and then the other day I had 3. So even I'm, slipping down, in listings because I just don't have the, as much time as I'd like to do the listings on eBay, where with Amazon, I just, able to do so much more, so much faster.
I was going to show you. I did put my Griswold frying pans up last night. I put one of them up for almost 300 and one of them up for 100. That was some things we got in an estate sale. And they were in the craft room, people. In the craft room. I think somebody hid them in there and they were going to go back for them later. But they don't know me. I dig through everything in crafts. I found them 2 pots. So I'm really excited about that I put those 2 up. So we'll see how they do. Because I've never found a Griswold cast iron frying pan before.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what I want to sell more. I want to sell more of the 50 plus because I want eBay to be like a very chunky, sales thing. Where I'm making a large amount of profit versus, like some of the smaller stuff where I might make $5 or $2 or whatever. I want to make eBay more profitable and list less. If that makes any sense.
No, what we try is to sell one big thing. This is what our goal. We like to sell one big thing a day, and then all the other little things fill in and make all the rest of the money. And that way it helps us where we can concentrate on finding bigger items. But if we don't have a big item sell that day, we're still going to be covered by all the little bread and butter items that are going to sell, and it'll be okay. I guess that's the difference between a $200 day and a $400 day. Is whether or not we have a big item that's going to sell that day. Right. But we do try. But again, where we shop, you can't find really big things at the bins and the outlets, but it's not going to come up as much as if you're finding it at an estate sale or.
I would say 90% of our stuff is from a Goodwill outlet.
Yeah. Just because we're very blessed to have a good one. From what I've heard, there's people that have some really bad outlets, and I feel very sorry for them.
I mean, Marsden asked, is Poshmark worth listing on? What are your pros and cons? Do you guys sell on Poshmark?
I have sold on Poshmark. Honestly, I'm not into all that sharing stuff. I'm not a sharer. And so it turned me off. And I went into Posh early, and that's when everybody was talking about, you needed to have the pretty tissue paper and the glitter and the notes, and I'm like, I don't have time for that with everything else we're doing. So I did not pursue Posh. I've made several sales on Posh, but I just closed. Our store is still there, but it has nothing in it. So yeah, I'm not saying that I won't ever go back, but I need to have to have a better understanding and have some time to really know what I need to do to make it successful before I go back.
Yeah, I started. I did it whenever I first started, and the sharing was fine at the beginning because I was home and I was hurt, so I was basically a full time reseller at the time. But um, I wasn't making any sales because the stuff I had was not posh worthy, I guess, because it was when I first started and I had a bunch of them polos and it just wasn't working out. But if I source now what I know now, I think I could do pretty good on it. But it's just sharing that, like you said, especially as a part-time reseller like myself, and I'm doing so much stuff, am I really going to be able to share and make sure I get that following or grow that following so that I do get, a bunch of people who either would share my stuff or I would have time to share my own closet, all day. So
Yeah.
it would be one of those things where I might just cross post it to it and do it whenever I can. If it sells, great. If not, I would kind of fall for the,
All
just
right.
kind of kill it off. But yeah, it's hard for me, especially with the amount of stuff that I got doing that.
And one thing for Rob and I, you got to remember, Rob and I are a lot older than a lot of resellers out there. And so we're a little bit more old school, and that means I owe Chris $5 probably by now. But, so not to say that we don't, I mean, we're very open to change and to new things, but we've been doing this for such a long time. It probably takes us longer to make a change than it would other people. So that's another thing, talking about going into 2020. We're going to try. And I mean, Rob we just got on Instagram, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
So how many days a week we used to do every time. Well, I shouldn't say that, but it's always a joke with me. Rob used to always say, on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, he'll always be like, if we need to go I'll go to the store, you stay here. And then while he's out, he comes back and he's, sourced all our town. Of course, our town's 1,700 people, so it ain't that big, but we have yard sales all the time being in Florida. And, there would be times Rob would probably source, 5 days a week?
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that's another reason why our garage is full. Nowadays we don't. We may go 2 weeks and not source.
Yep.
These days, because we really don't need to. We have so much stuff that
Now
we
we
can
might
pull from.
browse at estate sale or something that if it was something
Yeah.
that we pinpoint in a picture, we might do. So.
But it's so tempting when you drive right by those signs, and it just says turn here, and you just, So we joke about that, but it is hard to pass them by. But we do. We're trying. We're trying to get better.
There was 1 month that we said we weren't going to source, and we stuck to it.
Yeah, we did. The month of July. We didn't source at all the whole month of July. Because we knew we were going on vacation in August and we were going to source like crazy.
That's not a bad month to take off, and really, because the sales are going to be probably the worst. It's probably the worst month for sales, of all months, is July, because everyone else is. That's a very popular vacation month. Like for me, for work, I can't even get a day off if I have an emergency or anything. So, everyone is maxed out on those days and everything. So I can understand. But yeah, my eBay really fell asleep in July. So if I was able to go on vacation, I wouldn't even have to pack much when I come back.
Ours took a big snooze come summertime. When they, people were saying, is it the summer slowdown? I don't know whether it was anything to do with eBay, whether it was people going on vacation, but from doing this as many years as we have, we kind of know the roller coaster that it is. And it normally is slower during the summer, and you see it pick back up in late August, 1st of September. This year it seemed like it took it a little bit longer for us to get started into the fall. It was closer to October before it really got rolling again, but we're just used to it. Excuse me. Kind of make plans for that.
My big question, and this is, me moving forward into full time. How do you deal with the months that aren't as profitable because that is your only income or one of your streams of income. And when it takes a hit like that, how do you what do you do, or how can you prepare yourself, or how can you better suit yourself for that?
We eat a lot of beans. No, I mean, you just have to.
It's a lifestyle,
Well, you know what's coming, so you learn to put it away. You know you've got to have funds. Those months are going to be leaner, so you just kind of budget for that, and you have kind of an emergency fund. And that's what we've done, and it's just again taking time to see how things go, to know when we're normally going to need that, and or sometimes we might. We do bigger sales. I mean, you want to get a better deal from me, buy during our lean months. You're going to get a good deal from me because I'm going to just about take any offer that comes down the pike.
Yeah, like that's probably going to be my biggest adjustment moving forward when I do go full time. Is when I'm spending and sourcing now, I'm basically going down to the last penny, where I know I'm going to have money come the next day or whatever the case is. Where when I'm doing full time reselling, I have to forecast basically my sales to see if I can pay this bill or that bill. But also when I go in, I hope to not go in too lean on the cash flow part, where I could basically have like five or 10 grand to the side, and if it's source money or just a rainy day fund that I can just pull out of it and hopefully pay back pretty quick out of that, so I can have it set aside. But yeah, that's my biggest fear. Moving forward into going into full time here, hopefully soon. I don't know when, but soon. I hope. Is basically making sure my family's okay, and I didn't, make a mistake and basically fail them. You know what I mean? Because I kind of figured I have one shot at doing this whenever I do pull the trigger. If it, not if I get fired at my job, I wouldn't say that's my only shot, but that kind of gives me a taste of it to see if I can just keep going.
Yeah.
Or, so I'm not trying to get fired, but you know what I mean? Like that would be the only way I would say that doesn't count as my first shot, but I got one shot. I really want to do this right.
With our story, I kept trying to get Rob to look at what happened to us as an opportunity. Maybe this is what, fate has said, this is it now. We've taken away all your excuses as to why you can't go full time. So do it. And Rob was resisting. That's why our business, everything is in my name. I did it one day while he was out. I went ahead and pulled the trigger and came home and said, guess what? We're in business.
He's like, what? Business and what? What are we doing?
Yeah. So, that's what sometimes it took that for him, because he's very cautious. I'm the one, and that's why we make a good pair, because I run around with scissors all the time, and he's chasing me, trying to take them out of my hand. So
the year that we started full time was a very trying year for us as well, because we were living in another house at the time.
Yeah, that we'd only bought a year before.
Yeah, we'd only been there about a year, and we were like thinking about moving out of the house because it was like an area that we didn't want to even be in. Wasn't it, Lisa? But then you changed your mind, saying I liked it. I think it was.
It's a historical district down in downtown.
It was an older house.
So when you live downtown, there's issues about living downtown. In any town, and we had no problems with crime or anything like that, but we were very happy there. And in fact, the day before we got a letter in the mail, I was telling Rob, finally got our dream house, because it was historical. It had been totally restored, wooden floors. I mean, it was just beautiful.
And it had like a 2-story shed
in the back. Yes, a beautiful shed with a front porch and ceiling fans and everything else. It was really nice. And we got a letter in the mail saying, you know what? The city says, would you be interested in selling your house? Because we're thinking about expanding our fire station. Basically, if we didn't sell, they were going to take it by eminent domain. So, that kind of hit us, where we had no really kind of anything even in the house. Of course, we're upside down because we only been there a year. And, they're coming in saying we're going to either sell it to us or we're going to take it. So it was stressful.
Mm-hmm.
They can do that?
Yep.
Yeah, they can do that. And they did. But
we were the last ones that held
I was
out
the
on the
last
block.
one that held out, and they kept saying, "We're just going to build around you. We're just going to put hedges around you." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Go
the
ahead,
sound barrier.
go ahead." But they got an appraisal of our house. Basically, what they wanted to do was give us the payoff to our house, so we would have walked away with nothing. And I said, absolutely not. No, I hired our own appraiser at our cost and got a higher appraisal and went back and forth with the mayor and the council. And finally, Rob and I got, a price where we were able to move out and buy this house. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they can do that.
I was going to say, usually when they make an offer in a situation like that, most times they usually give you way over market value because, I mean, that's what happened around here to a few people. Like they got like double what their house was worth just because they wanted the property.
A lot of the homes around us were rental properties. And
an office building, I believe.
And, our business, and people were they were glad to get out. So they just took what they offered and left. With us only being there a year, there was no way, because we would have lost everything we put down on it when we first went in. And again, we were upside down because we had no really equity in it. So I had to fight to get us a decent deal. And it took a lot. It took a lot of, threats on both parts going back and forth and back and forth. But when we got a deal, at least we're able to get out and, be able to afford to get another home. So.
Right.
And it really came out to a positive because when we moved in this house, that was a 30-year loan on that house, and we took only a 15-year loan on this house. Yeah. So we cut our mortgage by 15 years by moving this.
Yeah, Greg Taylor says they can do it to anybody and have if the government needs it or for whatever. Yeah, I mean they could basically just say, hey, we need this house or this property for
and because
X.
It was for a fire station. That's what they said. Because it was for a fire station, they can say it was a need. It was a community need. So that way they could come in and literally they told me they could take it for nothing if they wanted to. They said they could have taken it for nothing.
Like I understand, they need it for a very good reason or whatever, but they should at very least pay something where a little bit more than what the value of the house is for the inconvenience to you because you do own the property but you're moving and it's a service to you, so you're going to make out by your moving fees plus 5% of what the additional cost of the house or whatever, so that it's not like you're being thrown out and then you get nothing back. Like if they would actually do that to somebody, that would be a huge injustice and it would be insane.
Oh, I fought so hard because I even went to because we were a historic home. We had been designated a historical area. I went to, every place I could think of to say, it's a historic home. Doesn't that count for anything? No. And the saddest part of all of this is after they bought our home and they destroyed it, they decided not to build.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's empty.
Wow.
So it's just a big empty lot.
They built somewhere else.
Yeah, it's just a big empty lot right now.
That's insane.
Oh, I'd be furious.
Yeah, but like Rob said, it worked out for the best because we're able to take a 30-year mortgage and put it down to a 15-year mortgage. And, with what we pay on it,
we've been here, over 7 years, so we're halfway there.
We're able to get rid of it a lot sooner than we would have. So, because y'all know, my goal is to travel. That's what I've always wanted to do. I want to be able to travel and sell. I haven't figured out the perfect way to do it yet. Rob and I talked about it, especially when he was heavy into Amazon. I wanted an RV. I want to hit the road. He could RA in every town, send it in, and then just keep moving, But now, since he's not doing that much anymore with eBay, of course, we know it's not possible because I sure can't carry 7,000 items around with me. So, but that's my goal. That's what I would like to do. I would like to travel and go to different places and source from different places because I love stories. I love to buy items that have stories. I love the estate sales and that kind of stuff. And I would just love to travel to different places, meet different people, and do stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe it'll come true. Maybe it won't.
Yeah, I almost got my CDL and started driving tractor trailer because I loved to drive so much, and the pay's pretty good too. But 3 kids, and this is before the reselling. Like, with 3 kids or 2 and 1 on the way at the time, whenever I thought about this, that's not a way to live. I can't not be around my family, my kids, and especially as young as they are and everything. Like, my wife would disown me, and I would never see my kids again if I did that. So
I tease Rob all the time that instead of buying this house, we should have took the money and bought a semi and went on the road. He could have, we could have been a driving team. We could take the dog with us. We could have took our dog with us.
Oh yeah, 60-pound dog in a truck. Yeah.
I've seen couples, doing that, especially coming to my work and stuff like that, and they're moving around. But you get paid pretty good, especially if you're, basically the truck's not stopping.
Yeah, I know. I know a couple people that did that. They do. They make great money.
Yeah, because you get paid per mile or for a lot of places. So the more miles you rack up and the less downtime, the more money, deliveries and everything you got going on. Eric Bischoff says, don't do it. CDL, don't do it, because he drives truck all over the place.
Yeah.
But he does that awesome on Amazon. So I don't know. If years down the road, if I'm still not full time, that might be a job, like when the kids are gone. And this is many, many moons and years from down the line.
I have too much road rage. I probably would not be an optimal truck driver.
You'd probably see me on the news. Like I get pretty mad, driving in my local area. And most of my way to work is highway, but you get the occasional moron that wants to go 45 and a 60, and you're like, seriously? And then you have to slam on your brakes because someone's basically speeding with you side by side, and you have to stop because the other person in front of you. So yeah,
nowadays, it's everybody's on their devices. I mean, it scares the bejeebies out of me when you're at night because you can see them glowing, what they got in their hands, and they're texting while they're driving. And I'm like, I know you're not paying a bit of attention to what's going on in front of you.
I do that, but I only do it whenever basically like I could set my cruise. No one's like side or in front of me close enough where I'd have to worry. So, because there is every once in a while, I'll occasionally drift into the wrong lane. But yeah, like I said, it's usually when there's no one around. So, because by the time I get home, sometimes it's 10, 11, 12, midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. So, there's always a lot of room and space out there in the middle of the night.
But now, see, Rob, he likes classic old cars. So I have a feeling that if we don't get an RV, we're going to have definitely have some classic car collection going on.
You think that?
Yep.
I could see Rob. I could see Rob being the car guy for sure.
What's your car, Rob? Come on.
What?
Your one car.
Oh, the last car I've ever had that was
the one that you want to always get.
I'd love to get a Z28 again. I had a '79 Z28.
And he likes his GTO that he used to have.
Oh yeah, I had a '67 GTO too one time.
Me, I'm a Barracuda or a Roadrunner girl. That's what I like. But yeah, my first car was a '68 Ford Mustang. So I'm kind of right there with him too.
Eric Bishop says the majority don't give a crap about trucks or the road. Or on the road.
That's true. People think that those trucks can stop on a dime.
Yeah, they can't.
No, and just like of course, in Florida, we don't have mountains, but I've drove through the mountains and I've watched one of those trucks have to go up one of those,
sand dunes.
Yeah, sand things.
That was you.
Right.
That's scary. I mean, that's scary to watch that.
Right.
It's scary to be the one driving it, huh, honey?
Oh my God. Did you have to do that?
I had to use one of the. This was way back, '92. I had to use one of the runoffs coming down Donner Pass. And it was my brakes heated up and they just went out. So, yeah, it's scary.
And
we were running team way back then. We were running team, making 32.5 cents a mile.
Mm-hmm.
So it is pretty good money.
Yeah. Well, y'all know what Rob's job was, what he came from. Rob, tell him what you used to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in a coal mine for about 4 years.
Miner.
Wow.
So he came from coal mining country, and that's what his dad worked at. Back when you could have one job and retire from it.
Yeah,
His dad
he
worked
worked
there
at
for
one
over
coal
40
mine for
years.
over 40 years.
That's where my great grandfather passed away
That's-
from, coal mining.
And came out with no black lung. That's the thing.
He worked there
He
about 4
wasn't
years.
sick. His
My uncle
dad
did that
never
for a
got
while.
sick. No, I'm
My
talking about your
dad, yeah, he never came out. Yeah.
His dad was really lucky. He never got any kind of complications. Rob's problem see now, Tommy, how tall are you?
I'm like 5'9". I'm pretty short.
Yeah, still he probably would have. How tall was the place down there?
It's about 5 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'd be okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
that's why he to me walks kind of stumped over, and I think it's from his years he worked in the mine. He's so used to hunching over. I thought, my God, how could he's 6'3"? How could you work in there?
Yeah, I'm the same height
Wow.
as him. I'd be like the Hunchback of Notre Dame after working there. You know what I mean?
So and
I'd
you
be
tell
okay.
what they used to call you, Rob?
What's that?
Ralph.
Oh, yeah, because like the first day I worked, I lost my lunch, and it stuck with me.
So they called him Ralph. I'm like, because we met up with somebody. Of all things, we went and we were driving down Route 66. When I took my kids up there, we, of course, drove down there and ate whatever those dogs were, what they called.
Coney dog.
Coney dog. I don't remember. But anyway, one of the supposedly iconic places on Route 66. And we stopped at a little museum. And, of course, of all the places in Springfield, it's somebody Rob worked at the mine with. So, and that was fun.
Springfield, Illinois.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I see there's a bunch of people giving out their dream cars. Mine's a 68 Shelby Mustang. I want my grandma's. I want my grandma's. She's got one.
That's very nice. Resale King, he loves the IROC Z in the 80s. Well, I guess the 80s is young for him. I mean, it's old for him.
Yeah.
When you're only 20, for God's sakes. I give him a hard time.
He wants to get our daughter a Subaru Brat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see those around here. You don't
one.
see many of them.
No, she wants
especially
one.
up here. They all rotted out up here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's hard to find them.
I just saw one the other day, and I was talking about that. When I was growing up, of course, this will age me, of course, but I always wanted a Volkswagen Thing.
Those are
I just
cool.
thought those were the cutest things. And then it was a Carmen Ghia. I wanted a Carmen Ghia so bad. And then it was an RX-7 that was going to be my car. My dad said, if I can't get a Chilton manual and work on it, you ain't getting it. So I got a Ford.
Oh, what is it? The one you want to put me in?
Oh, an old AMC Pacer. Double car.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
the
little
truth.
enough.
That's the
I
truth.
would glitter that thing out.
Well, I like it. I like to see people take the newer Volkswagen Beetles and, they got the eyelashes on them. And I love how they make them into ladybugs and stuff like that. I think they're cute.
They're cute but creepy at the same time. It just reminds me of Christine.
Oh, hey, that's a classic movie.
Yes, it is.
What kind of car was that, Rob?
What's that?
Christine.
A Plymouth, wasn't it, or something? A Fury, Plymouth Fury.
That would make sense.
I like the car, Christine, but I would never want to own one for the fear of that movie. Stephen King is awesome, but he has ruined me in a lot of areas.
Oh, I know what my dream vehicle is.
Okay, what's your dream vehicle?
It's that RV that goes in the water.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. What is that thing called?
Yeah, if you look up the amphibious motorhome, this thing is sweet.
That's what he wants.
Well, there you go. Well, I mean, if you're going to dream, you might as well dream big.
Right.
So it's an RV that floats and drives over the water.
It's a full size. Yeah, it's a full size RV. It's like 40 feet long. And you could drive it right down a boat ramp into the water.
So you're like one day you're like, I'm gonna go source overseas somewhere. You just start having your car bring a lot of gas
across the ocean, but it gets you out on the water to do some fishing in between sources.
That would be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's like living on a boathouse.
Yeah, pretty much. But we'll
On the water, and then a regular camper on land. It's pretty. It's crazy. I thought it was one of those spoof videos. I didn't think that it was real. And he's like, "No, look how much this is." I'm like, "Oh boy!"
It's only 380,000.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's all.
He's joking.
Something
there you go.
like
Yeah.
Lisa, tell them a couple of years ago what you did.
What did I do?
Sourced a vehicle for us.
When?
Our van.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I look through classifieds all the time. I mean, what
Me
else
too.
is there to do? I look through everything, even the crazy sections, because sometimes you find good stuff in crazy, So
There's crazy stuff.
we were looking for a vehicle, so I found us one that was a post office special delivery van. And what's funny about it is it had the cage in it, The guy took the cage out, but it was made specifically for the post office. So it has no seats in it. It has no places to put seats in it or anything. And the only quirky thing about it is when you open the side doors, emergency flashers come on. But when we got it, what did it have on it? It had hardly no miles on it.
40,000 miles.
40,000 miles on it.
It was like a 2006.
Mm-hmm. So, and it was a fleet vehicle, so it was very well maintained. And, that we get all of our. I mean, I hardly ever buy anything new anymore. Well, we draw the line at underwear. Underwear and socks must be new. Other than that, everything else is up for discussion.
Right.
crazy thing is, I heard old vintage underwear is pretty well.
That's true. Some old drawers will sell. That's true.
I've heard that.
The
That
last
makes me want to source a pair every once in a while.
last estate sale that I went to, I did buy one pair of underwear, but it was new with the tag. I left all the ones that didn't have tags there. I do have to draw a line somewhere. I do want my store to be respectable.
Right.
Even though we do have things in the adult category, which just totally blows me away, what eBay puts in the adult category sometimes.
We've researched the adult category for selling.
Yeah, we have. And the things that, I was like, holy
I don't care,
cow.
man. People pay big money for that stuff.
It is a whole different beast once you go over there. I mean, really, I was shocked at all the things that eBay sells. I mean,
Yes.
you literally can get anything on eBay.
I was very shocked at the things that I was like, they make that stuff? Really? Oh my God.
Because you got to realize a lot of people don't remember. I mean, a lot of people don't want to go out and buy that stuff in public.
Right.
So eBay is a perfect way, and you can protect their anonymity on feedback. You can leave private feedback where nobody sees it, which is what we do when the men buy pantyhose from us. And that's another thing. I sell lots of pantyhose, and I sell almost exclusively to men. And since I started making the feedback private for pantyhose, my sales have just shot up.
Really?
Wow.
So, and I always put in the ad that I ship them discreetly.
Yowza.
So, it just goes to show you. And I mean, let's face it, football play. Who was it?
Joe Namath.
Joe Namath, Rosie Greer, a lot of those big guys came out and said they wore pantyhose to keep them warm, for God's sake.
Yeah, there was a couple guys on my football team that did it. I looked at them like, seriously? They're like, yeah, I'm cold. I'm like, well, I mean, you can wear like the Under Armour pants. Like, you didn't have to get.
I mean, why not?
But I was like, all right, whatever. If you want to be comfortable and stylish at the same time on the football field, I can understand.
And they come in so many different shades. You can go from nude to black and everything in between. So.
Well, Destiny is reminding me of a good point too. Back in high school, when I was on the swim team, we used to wear pantyhose to create drag during practice.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. My son was on the swim team. I don't think they ever did that.
Yeah,
But-
we did that. It
But
create
you
more.
did were good.
Yeah, it'd create more drag. So then, if you can get your times up wearing pantyhose and sleeves, you really got good time when you take it
Wow.
off.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That blows my whole theory. Thanks, Tommy. I thought I was selling a bunch of perverts. I'm probably just selling to swim team guys.
It's
Hey,
created.
so
Yeah.
to athletes.
It created drag in more than one way.
Ah,
Yeah.
That's a good one.
that was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. But yeah, I mean, that's what people that are looking for things to sell on eBay, check out. I mean, there are so many different opportunities. You can sell literally anything on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Got Grimes finds in the house. Congrats on 14K, man. You're growing like a weed in a good way. That's what's up.
And the pantyhose. Resell king.
I don't think I have any of those pictures later.
No, I don't think you have any pictures of those.
I can understand why.
Yeah, I was gonna name you Greg Taylor, but I didn't want to, since Greg has finally admitted to dressing up in drag. So I can say that since he has already put that out in my stream. But he swears he's not ever going to do it again. Well, no, actually, that was the night we were talking about shoes, heels. And he volunteered that he dressed up for Halloween or for some. No, it wasn't Halloween. It was for a party. And he was saying how horrible his feet were at the end of the night. He was sympathizing with women that wear high heels. I
can't wear high heels anymore. They have to be flat shoes.
Mm-hmm. Now, about do paper maps sell well? Rob, we always buy if we go to estate sales and things, and we come upon a lot of people that travel and they have old travel maps from Europe and places. We'll buy those, and they do sell pretty good. I mean, and you're right, the comps are all over the place. It depends on the location, and it depends on how old it is. The older stuff normally sells better.
Yeah, like if say like a territory isn't there anymore or whatever, people buy it for the history of it.
Mm-hmm. And ephemera is very popular. Rob, you want to talk about what you found?
Yeah, let's see. One time, it was like a big old box of fire engine pamphlets, fire engines,
like
brochures, sales brochures. Yeah. And I mean, I've sold. There were some of them were like $20 for just one. Mm-hmm. I sold for 10 to 20.
And they're from the 70s, right?
Yeah,
the 70s
they're not that
era.
old.
So, and we also have a whole box full of stuff. We again, being in Florida, we're not too far from Kennedy Space Center, and we went to an estate sale of a guy that drove the bus, and like the tour buses. And so every time they would have a launch or something, the astronauts would sign all the stuff for him, and it was a huge box of stuff that we haven't even gone through. That's another,
Sold a few pictures out of it. That's about it.
Yeah, so we've got a bunch of space stuff. I don't even know what we have that we need to go through. So I never pass up ephemera because it's so easy to ship.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
people use
the bubble
it for
mailer
so
and that's it.
Things.
Yeah. Yeah, people like just seeing older stuff like postcards and all types of stuff. See, that's something like I want to get into because I do see a lot of that type of stuff in my area, but like I don't know what would do good versus what not. So maybe I'd just buy a big box of it and just kind of see how do you comp something like that unless it's something exactly like a brochure like say a
it's
picture,
hard.
Yeah, like I wouldn't know how to comp any of that stuff.
It's hard. I mean, you just have to do. I don't know that Rob ever found anything that was exactly similar. You just kind of got to go with your gut and put it out there and see where it goes.
Yeah, Bad Dog said he sold a map of Japan a few weeks ago for $35. So
and let me tell you another thing. Rob also buys slides.
Yeah.
And what are the ones that red? Is it red on top?
Yeah, the red. They have a red border. They're like from the 50s and such.
And he found some that was from Japan, from like a old McDonald's. They were taking it in front of there, and that sold for like crazy. I mean, it's just slides is another thing. You find people throw that stuff away anymore. They don't even keep that stuff. And so he'll pick up slides when he can, and like he said, look for the red ones. The red bordered ones, because those are going to be older, and a lot of times you can Sometimes they're good for individual, but a lot of times we'll lot them up by location, and they'll do really well.
Yeah, a lot of times people will write directly on the slide what it
Mhm.
is, so you don't have to, guess what country it is, or
Yep. I think reselling kings asked me about patterns if I send them with a shipping confirmation. Yes, I do. I never ship in a plain envelope, and that's only because of our status. You've got to have proof that you shipped it,
delivery.
Right.
delivery confirmation, and that's not to say that it probably cost me some sales, because I do have ladies that'll tell me your shipping's too high, and then I explain to them, why I ship the way I ship, and it is what it is. I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, unless because I've actually had a local pickup from eBay before, and I called eBay and was like, hey, how do I, make sure that I don't get screwed, doing this or whatever, and they had to basically before they left, they had to give me positive feedback right away to protect myself. So just a little FYI for anybody who gets a random message from somebody that wants to pick up. Uh, yeah, they were in the town right next to me or whatever, and they picked up and they paid and everything went good. So it was
I've
a little
had
worrisome.
I've had people offer to do that, but we never do, because I'm afraid if they ever came to my house, they'd never leave because they'd want to shop it.
I ended up
My
meeting
house.
them at I ended up meeting them
That's
at a
my
local
issue.
place. Yeah. I didn't want them coming to my house. I just made sure to meet them at like McDonald's or something.
Yeah, that would be the best thing. And Bad Dog, he says that he prices maps high and accept offers. Yeah, I mean that's what we do too. I mean it's always better to go high because you can always go lower, but you don't want to lowball yourself and then find out you could later on you could have got more money. So I'm pretty good at when things come out. They originally come out, they're going to have a high price, but I do put best offer on almost everything I do. So, and if they don't sell after a month or two, we'll probably knock them down. And then we run sales constantly.
Yes.
And we have graduated. The way I have my stuff in our store is by the date that we listed it. So my store categories, which my customers don't see, are when we put stuff online. That's so that way I know how old stuff is. That was before eBay started doing this good till canceled stuff. And that way we run our sales that way. I know my stuff that's been there the longest, I'm going to put it at a higher percentage rate and I'm going to blow it out and get it out of here.
Yeah, I think with like with the like Greg Taylor says, like the part that sucks with shipping with eBay, you could ship tiny items for cheap, but it costs a lot more getting a tracking label.
Yep.
I wish eBay would give like an option to, like if the buyer wanted to pay, just the regular envelope price, that they could choose that with and not have tracking, and basically they would lose maybe a little bit of protections or whatever, but they would save money. I wish there was like an option or something that they could do that like that, because there's a lot of stuff that like Anthony Pittsburgh sells like sports cards or Pokemon cards and stuff like that. Those guys are paying as much for the item as they are for shipping,
Yeah.
so they don't want to pay that.
Yeah, I mean, you get into that. Rob and I even talked about opening, having a second store where we wouldn't have top rated status where we could do that, but
Right.
We didn't.
Yeah, I wish they would change something with that, so this way, it would make it a little better market for collectible, like cheaper collectible, like the cards and stuff. But I can understand why, because
That's why I try and give a very generous shipping discount for my craft stuff. So I encourage them. If you're going to buy one, I understand it's high, but if you buy another one, it's going to get cheaper.
right.
Every one you buy, it's going to get cheaper and cheaper. So hopefully that helps them. And then at a certain point, I just stop it, because there's no sense in I can ship especially if I'm going to put it in a priority flat rate, it's going to be the same no matter how many I can shove in there.
Right. Yeah, I hope to see some great changes with eBay this year. I hope they can really make this a comeback year for them too, because I almost feel like they're losing some steam versus some of the other people, the different platforms, and for
Well,
me,
I do too.
yeah,
I think that they are behind, and I think they've been behind for a while, and they've got a lot of catching up to do. And I think they need, to be more focused on, new technology and what the. I do believe that the demographic, the young people, are not shopping eBay. They're shopping other venues, and there's a reason why. And eBay needs to figure that out and correct it, and bring those shoppers back to eBay. Because I know if I ask my two boys who are 30 and 26, and even Robson who's 22, if you're looking for something, where do you go? Amazon. They don't even say eBay. They don't
yeah.
even look at eBay.
I heard last night that eBay doesn't charge fees on shoes that are over $100. I don't know if
That's a
that's
new
true or not.
evidently that's a new promotion that's coming out.
Yeah,
Or
I mean that's awesome. I mean, I would love to get into the shoe space even more, like shopping at Ross and Marshalls and stuff like that, where they have shoes at a pretty decent rate. But with the fees being what they are, 10% of $100 or $125 pair, that's $12 of profit just coming off the top, and
hmm
that kind of kills it for me for the most part. So if they
Rob
did
was
that, I wouldn't mind
yeah,
doing that.
Rob was a shoe guy for a long time.
Yeah, I
I've
started with
never been
shoes.
into shoes. Never.
I love them.
I don't like to mess with them.
If I could pick one thing to sell, well, probably two things to sell. It would be sneakers and video games. If I could pick two, categories, because they sell really well. When I
Mhm.
list a pair of shoes, they go pretty quick. The only pair of shoes haven't sold yet. I have a pair of Mountain Dew Adidas. They're like a special edition. I'm asking a lot of money for them, so that's part of the reason. But um, everything else I've pretty much had listed has went really fast. Like the women's like workout shoes, the shape ups, Nikes. If it's basically more than just like a very common Nike or whatever, it sells so fast.
Mhm.
I get 40, 50, $60 for a pair of shoes, usually if it's Nike or whatever. If it's some of the, like the lower end like workout shoes, if they're in good condition, I'll get 30, $40. So, and that's plus shipping. So it's been a really good space for me.
I think if I had to choose if I was going to say I'm only going to sell two things, it would be glass and crafts, because those are my passions. That's what I like. That's what I enjoy. And that's the two sections. Rob knows when we go to a thrift store, we split. We never shop together. We always shop separately and meet back at the checkout. And I usually go to crafts first, and then I go to glass.
See, that's where I want my wife to get at with me. Like she loves the Amazon sourcing side, but I want to get more on the eBay side because I feel like I'm missing so much on that side of the table because I don't know much about it because obviously I'm not a woman, of course. So, or I lack the knowledge in that area. So, that's one thing I wish she would, kind of help me out with because I know there's a lot of items that I'm missing on that side of the table. I wish I could pick up.
Rob, what would be yours if you had to just slim down and say I'm only going to
I
sell?
don't know. I mean, I do like media, but I mean, sometimes there's not very much money in that. So I don't know, media maybe, and I mean, electronics has always been good for me, but I mean, sometimes it's risky because the risk you take to send a electronics item to a person.
Yeah. Yeah, the last two I sent out, they got damaged.
I would say I like the vintage electronics.
Yeah.
And,
I like the way they look.
and hardware, man. I do excellent with hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Like Boston hardware or home improvement hardware, not
Mhm.
like screws and nails, but light fixtures type hardware, stuff like that.
I just sent out a garage door opener that was like open in a package, but it was like brand new and never been used because the battery still had a little tape on it on the back. And like the person emailed me back yesterday saying, "You didn't tell me that it didn't have screws in it." And like he says, there's like two different size screws that it takes. And I had to go out there and find it, and I said, okay, I mean, if you want to return it, you can, or I can give you $5 for your screws you had to go look for.
Because you got a screw loose. Well, I mean, he didn't advertise it as new, but
Yeah,
still, people.
it was brand new, but I advertised it as used, and
Yeah,
the
I mean,
packaging
I
was like,
very seldom advertise anything as new.
no,
I
I don't
mean,
either.
my God, that's waiting for somebody to say no, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, I try to be as honest as possible on those, just for the fact that, like you said, like someone gets an item, they go, "Oh, this was open once or whatever."
Hmm.
Unless there's a new open box, then maybe I'll go with that, depending on how it's packaged or how it's set up. Like it doesn't look like it was actually used. Like
Hmm.
everything's bundled up together. The manuals are nice and crisp, all that type of stuff. Then I'll go ahead and do new open box. But if it looks like it was used a couple times, everything isn't as nice, then I'll just use it, put it as new.
You know what? I got to tell y'all this. One of the last things I sold that we just got feedback from was a pair of Elmo shoes, and I don't mean shoes that kids wear. These were a pair of shoes that went on an Elmo doll, and they came that way. But evidently, they must have got rid of the doll. They still have the shoes. I freaking sold those shoes for $15. That the shoes walk and talk by themselves. You could put your stuffed animal in it.
Right.
So, I mean, Rob and I are funny though. I mean, we'll sell anything that we can make money on.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I know some people are very niched into what they sell, which can be a good thing. But when you're sourcing from like the places we are, you kind of have to not be choosy. You have to be able to just take whatever's there and make a profit.
The Resale King says car parts so good. I know a couple people that actually get a car. They'll buy a car, strip it down, and list
Mhm.
everything that's on that car, and
Oh, sure.
they'll even pay or hire a couple guys to help out or whatever, and sell the parts off. So
Oh,
you
sure.
can buy a car for 500 bucks or
Yep.
less, and
And strip
really
it. I
strip.
mean, everything sells. Anything that's got that emblem on it. I mean, even the car manual that's inside, every switch, every handle, every mirror, everything sells.
Right.
Yeah, if I wasn't in town here and I lived more on the outskirts of town, I would do. They wouldn't like that in town if I was stripping cars down in the driveway. But yeah, that's what I grew up on because my dad had a salvage yard. That's why I learned my hustle game. And I've seen him, back then he was buying cars 40, 50 bucks, turning them in 700, 800 in parts, and then sending the shell off and getting his 40
Yep.
bucks back in scrap.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
Because a lot of times you'll see cars that are newer. They're in the junkyard or whatever,
Sure.
and they might have like a little bit of a wreck in the back end or whatever, depending on what the situation was. But the engine's good. The transmission might be still good, depending on how bad the hit was, or the angle or whatever, because it could tear that out or have some damage and be unaligned or whatever. So there's a lot of money that are left on the car. It
Oh,
might not
yeah.
cosmetically be good, but the insurance company just said, heck with
Well,
it.
the thing too is that there's hundreds of cars that go to auction every day like that. you know, that are damaged, that still have so many good parts on them. I mean, that's what we talked about when I was working with a lady with cars. That's what she was looking into. But you got to have somebody that can pull them off. And unfortunately, I don't pull car parts. And that's not anything I'm interested in getting in to know how to do. Did you see Glenn? He said fan remotes. That's true. We sell remote controls for everything.
Yeah. You can get them at the Goodwill outlet, dime a dozen.
Dime a dozen. Yeah.
All right, so we're starting to wind down. I also want to mention that Dee has her show. If you see the ticker below the channel, it starts at 12 Eastern. Sometimes I forget by accident, so that's why I made the ticker to remind myself
Got
around the end of the show. Thank you, Lisa and Rob, for coming on. You've been wonderful guests.
Thank
All
you for having
their
us.
their
Yeah.
link is in the description, along with Tommy the Bargain Effects, Anthony Pittsburgh, and also my eBay store, which I have merch in as well. So if anybody would like to take a gander at that type of stuff, I really appreciate it, but it's not expected. Tomorrow's show is on my channel since Anthony won't be back yet. He won't be back until Monday, I believe. Oh no, I'm sorry. He'll be back Friday late, so he won't be on the show till Monday. But yeah, we're gonna have another show on my channel tomorrow. Appreciate everyone for coming in and has been throwing links and just asking questions. And I just love everyone's support. I love the community. You guys are not just people watching me, you're my friends, you're my family. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And anyone else have anything to say?
Hi, Snobby.
Nope, I'm just
Love everybody.
thank you for having us on, Nate and Tommy and Destiny. We really appreciate it. We love you guys. We watch you every day.
Cool. We appreciate
Awesome.
that too.
Yeah,
I
you guys,
just wish everybody happy, productive day. Hope you make lots of sales. I know from what I'm reading, I'm not experiencing it, but from what I'm reading, all the sales are picking up because people are doing that last minute shopping. So I'm hoping it starts affecting me. But we'll see.
yeah, I hope it starts raining PayPal dollars here shortly because
That would be nice.
I haven't had any sales today, and I just threw up another sale, 25% off basically everything in my store. And I don't think I've seen anything ka-ching or anything, so it's kind of sad,
Your-
but
Your
that's
sales are
okay.
going to pick up after Christmas.
Yeah, mine usually pick up after Christmas when people are spending the gift cards and the cash they got.
Yes. That's always a good time. That's what I tell people. Don't be discouraged because there is life after Christmas.
Oh,
All the
yeah.
money and gift cards.
For
Yeah.
the last 3 years, my best month has been March.
Yep.
Every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, for the resellers, for all the resellers out there, basically January is the last month of the fourth quarter. I mean, technically December is, but for the sales, volume of the whole Christmas season, it extends all the way out to January. So if you have any of those items that they're not Christmas, decorations or something like that, and they are still hanging around, don't worry, they'll sell. I sold a lot of mine that I had just on eBay, and then I started Amazon that sold on Amazon right away. So never fear, the sales are near.
I like that.
All right, everyone, I'm going to cut it off. Thank you for joining us.